What do you do when a salesperson is missing their numbers to bring them back to within KPIs? Well, that's someone just asked me that question this morning in a meeting that I had, and I think that there's three main things that you do. One, that anyone would do. One is you ask yourself, am I, if you're the one supporting the team, like the sales manager or the owner or someone on their team like a peer, one, am I giving them what they need to succeed, this individual who's failing to hit their numbers? Two, do they have all of the correct inputs? Meaning, is the team environment correct? Do they have enough opportunities? Are all the correct inputs in place? Do they have all the tools and the resources and the strategies that they need for success? Now, if that answer is yes, then we go on to the third thing. Is the individual doing everything that they need to be doing to succeed? And interestingly enough, most sales managers and business leaders and whatever else would crack down on that individual first. Hey, get it together, man, right? You're terrible. This is awful. But, in reality, I would encourage you, and I encourage other teams that I work with, and I try to do this myself, is I start with the other two first. And here's why. If I ask myself, am I giving this individual everything that they need? And does this team environment, is this right? Are they getting all the correct inputs? If I address those two areas first, well, that person's problem may be indicative of a sandbag that's basically in everyone else's trunk. So if I address that problem for everyone else, if I address that problem there for them, then I might lighten the load for everybody else and make it easier for everybody on the whole team to succeed, and the team and the organization as a result. So I view their struggle as an indicator to do some self-reflection and make sure I'm providing what the team needs, and to make sure that they have what they need in their environment, their inputs. And then finally, you go to the individual. And with the individual, the three questions that are most important to ask in the majority of these scenarios, there's obviously some variance, but most of the time, I will always ask these three questions. What could you have done better? Like, what could you have done better? What could you have done differently in order to make this week or this month turn out better? What types of things do you need help with? And what are you going to do differently this coming week or this coming month? Because the first question, what could you have done better, helps the individual to identify areas where they missed the mark. What do you need help with? Maybe they'll highlight something that I don't realize that they need, right? Maybe I've got a blind spot. But then the last question, what are you going to do differently today, this week, this month? That beginning and ending question puts the burden, the onus back on the individual. Humans have an incredible amount of influence. People are by design, they have a lot of authority. They have the ability to change a lot of things. They can get a lot of things done, and they can change and improve a lot of things in their environment all on their own. And the moment that, and people can bring things into their environment that aren't good, as well as things that are good. But it's just in human nature to bring order to chaos and to assemble things around them. Well, if you put someone back in the driver's seat of their life versus allowing them to slump into a victim mentality, that's the biggest thing that you can do to help an individual be successful, which is why most sales managers and leaders immediately go after the individual. But rather than starting with the individual, start with yourself. Am I providing everything that this person needs to succeed? Then go to the environment around that person. Do they have the proper inputs? Do they have all the tools? Do they have all the resources that they need? And then finally, go to the individual and put the ball back in their court. What are you going to do differently today, this week, this month to succeed? Hope that helps you out there.